Hey, how you doing?
Happy Halloween. Thanks for coming out on an off day. Yeah.
We'll open up for questions.
Joe, just overall trade deadline, can you kind of just take us through what's been going on in recent days?
Yeah, days, weeks, a lot of calls, a lot of conversations. Ultimately, we only did one trade last week with Mecole. A lot of calls. Obviously, there needs to be buyers, there need to be sellers. We made a lot of inquiries and just had a lot of discussions about a lot of different positions, but ultimately didn't get any other deals done, and that's where we are. But excited about these next 10 games.
What did you like at Rodgers Saffold, kind of bring him into the practice squad?
Yeah, obviously Rodgers is an experienced guy. He's played a lot of games. Tough, smart. He knows Keith Carter well, being with him in Tennessee. He's the exact type of person, competitor, mental makeup, toughness that we're looking for to add to the group, and I think he's going to be a really good acquisition for us.
Joe, we haven't had a chance to speak to you since Aaron went down, obviously. Can you kind of take us through, the shock element of that that you suffered here and fasting forward where you're at this point, how you kind of weathered the storm, if you will?
Yeah, obviously not what anyone's expecting 4 plays into the season, and like you said, the shock, and you're just devastated for Aaron, because you're here every day, you see the commitment and everything that he's invested into this team, and so your first thought is just you're devastated for Aaron, and then just to see this group of people rally, and not only in that game, but how they've approached this season and stick together and keep fighting, keep scratching, keep clawing. It's a real testament to every person in the locker room, the coaching staff, Robert, and the staff. I mean, I tell Robert his power, his superpower is his positivity, and he keeps everyone together. He keeps everyone positive, and for us to be able to really come together, it's a credit to him. It's a credit to our coaching staff. It's a credit to all the men in that locker room.
How do you feel about the possibility of him coming back this season, which has obviously been a big play?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, Zach, I'm not going to put words in Aaron's mouth. I mean, we're obviously we're excited to see him progress through his rehab, and look, I mean, we're taking everything day by day, and certainly we'll all be excited, when he's back in the fold, just as a person, and the leader that he is. But I'm not a doctor, so I can't go into the specifics on the rehab. But I mean, we're expecting Aaron to be back.
Joe, you've been around the league for a long time and seen a lot of injuries. You see this guy take dropbacks on the field, 6 weeks after surgery. Is that stunning to you as this progresses?
Yeah, look, I mean, I've never had that injury, and I'm not a doctor, I can't speak to it, but everything I've heard is that just to see him be able to do some of the things that he's doing, again, it's not surprising. I think we all know the competitive makeup that Aaron has, and I think he said it before, like he has goals, and he's gonna chase those goals, and he's gonna put every ounce of effort into achieving those goals, and so. Nothing surprises me when it comes to Aaron Rodgers.
You said we're expecting him to be back. Do you mean this year?
With the team. I have no timeline on. Again, I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I have no timeline to give you guys on him coming back, and so. But it's just good having him around. It's just when he's out there pregame, when he's around the team, it's just good having him in the building.
So you're not saying you're expecting him to play this year?
No, I'm not putting anything out there like that. Again, that's not my place. I'm not a doctor, and I don't have any breaking news for you like that.
Yeah, Joe, with the offensive line, obviously you guys have had a lot of injuries. How has it been just kind of dealing with that as the season's gone on? And how do you feel about this group where it's at now, and for the rest of the season?
Yeah, obviously the last few years, it's been hard. You know, we've had a lot of different starting combinations on the offensive line, but again, it's a credit to our staff and the versatility of our players to have guys that are able to switch positions from week to week, from play to play. You know, having guys that can play guard one play and go in and play center, and then you know, a guy like Xavier Newman coming off the practice squad and, you know, probably not thinking he's going to play one snap and come in and play majority of the game, and being able to battle against a really good front seven. So it's a credit to Keith Carter and Ben and Billy and Hack and our entire staff for developing these players, getting these guys ready to play each and every Sunday, and to really it's a little bit of a microcosm of our season, be able to handle any adversity that's been thrown their way.
What stood out about Xavier Newman before you decided to bring him in?
Yeah, Xavier's another guy that Keith really had a good feel for, and a guy that fits the profile of what we're looking for up front: smart, tough, physical, versatile, just very coachable, and just a high-level competitor. And I think, again, you saw the resiliency. Again, another microcosm of our team is you saw the resiliency in Xavier. You know, with a couple snaps that got a little squirrely, but he didn't flinch. He didn't bat an eye. He just kept battling, kept competing, and he played his tail off.
Joe, right, with Aaron talking about playing like this year and obviously next year, how did that play into how you approach the deadline? You know, did that affect you at all, thinking about, you know, that you could be back later this year or next year?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, I think at the deadline, you have some groups that you're inquiring about, and you have a plan, and you're trying to execute that plan. And obviously, it takes two to tango, so to speak, when it comes to getting deals done. But I wouldn't say that Aaron being here or not being here played a factor into our trade plans.
When you, obviously, there's constant microscope on Zach, not this Zach. How would you, what are you seeing from him since week one and with his development? What are the tangible things that you see and the intangibles, if you would, in terms of where he's taken this?
Yeah, I mean, for a young man who, and I know Coach Shaw has talked about a lot, you know, for a young man to have a guy like Aaron Rodgers come in and you know, and I know they're close, but essentially, you know, come in and take over the quarterback role, and then jump into that head first, and just appreciate the opportunity to learn from Aaron and develop and hone his skills and really improve day to day. Without, you know, I'm sure he thought that he wasn't going to play much at all this year, and then 4 plays into the season, boom, everything changes. And for him to be able to step in, the growth that he's had, the maturity level that he's had, I feel like he's playing with a lot more confidence in himself, in everything he does. You know, his teammates have his back. It's really cool to see. And you know, there's it hasn't always been perfect with the team. I think Sunday showed that. But you know, when plays need to be made, Zach's gone out there and made those plays under some difficult circumstances. 3 different centers, not ideal conditions, and when the play needed to be made, he played. When he needed to play his best football, he played his best football to win the game for us. And so to see him grow, to see him, like he even said, start taking the practice to the games and then playing clutch in clutch moments, it's a really cool thing to watch.
You mentioned Mecole earlier. Why did they just work here?
Yeah, you know, I think we were all very excited to add Mecole, and I think as we progressed through training camp, and Mecole started coming back from that injury, and he was doing a good job. It's just, and Roberts touched on it. You know, Xavier really came on. Xavier really did a great job. He took over the role as our kick returner, and you know, he really blossomed. And you know, we're really excited about X, and you know, I think we're going to see him continue to blossom as the year goes.
Last week, Dalvin and Carl both spoke to us.
Yeah.
They didn't say they wanted to be traded, but they kind of said they're not happy with their roles and they would kind of accept the trade. Did you have talks with other teams about moving those two guys?
Well, we had talks with a lot of teams. Ultimately, we did what we felt was best for the team, those guys are great teammates and great players, and I have a feeling we're gonna need those guys a lot down the stretch. So they're assets to this team, and we're glad they're here.
Joe, Bryce Huff's had a pretty big year, and that's a contract year for him, young player. Like, is he somebody you guys would consider extending before free agency?
Yeah, so there's been some informal conversations with Bryce's representatives, and I'd say that they're trending in a positive direction. Still a long way to go, but Bryce is another, not to pontificate, but that's an unbelievable player development story. For him to come in as an undrafted free agent and just work and work and work and get better every day. And I think the last 2 years, you've really been able to see a huge progression for him. And everyone's excited about Bryce.
I know you probably want to talk about specific players in the trade market, but
Right.
I think this is fair after the injuries you had Sunday. Robert said yesterday, probably not going to be offensive line move, and Vikings moved Cleveland to Jacksonville for a 6th-round pick. Were you interested in Cleveland?
I won't get into specific conversations, Kaz, but I will say that we had a lot of talks with a lot of teams on a lot of players at a lot of different positions, and ultimately, at the end of the day, we did what we felt was best for the team, and we're excited about the guys we have.
Joey, when you came in here a few years back, the assumption was going to be that because of your background, offensive line was your thing, kind of thing, right? And obviously, everybody has injuries, and you've had more than your share of them. Has it been a source of frustration for you that you have not been able to piece together what you want here, with the line in any of your years? It just seems like and I think every team goes through it anyway, I get it, but, that was kind of the perception when you came in. It was, this guy, the first thing he's going to do is take care of the offensive line.
Yeah.
What's that ride been like for you, trying to get those pieces together and get the right ones?
Yeah, the frustration comes with I feel like the best offensive lines, and we want to have when people talk about the New York Jets, we want people to say they have the best offensive and defensive line in football. And so I think the frustrating thing comes in that oftentimes with the best offense and defensive lines, there's real continuity, and you have the same 5 guys playing for long periods of time. And we haven't been able to achieve that for a lot of different reasons. And, that's something that that's probably the biggest source for frustration is keeping guys healthy, not only at offensive line, but all across the board. But on the other side of the coin, I love where our O-line is at from a mentality standpoint and being able to weather any storm that's thrown at them. And again, that's a real credit to Keith and Ben and Billy and every person in that room that no matter what happens, they're ready, they're prepared, and whether they have to play right tackle one snap or center the next snap, they're ready, and that's a real credit to the players and the coaching staff.
You talked about just weathering the storm too. Just how big is special teams contributed to that? Well, of course, with Morstead and obviously Greg.
Yeah, Timo. I feel like we have probably the best kicker combination in the league. Timo had an MVP performance Sunday, and I love that dude. And Zerline has really stabilized the kicking position for us. And again, Brant Boyer's done a phenomenal job with that group. I think, when we talk about effort, toughness, violence, and heart, mind, fist, and everything that we're trying to stand for as a team and as competitors, I think you see that every rep with our special teams, how hard they play. I love where our gunners are at. I think Ashton Davis does a phenomenal job. So I think that's a real credit to Gobes and Leon and Brant Boyer, and those guys they play their hearts out. And when you can pin an opponent 3 times inside the 5-yard line, that's a huge thing. Those are game-changing plays that should be noted. So I love where our special teams is at.
Joe, what's your expectation for the rest of the season? And I say that because, Aaron has said many times, we have to still be in it for it to even be a conversation. So what is your expectation now, going into November, December?
Yeah, I mean, look, 7 games in, we're 4-3. We've got there's a lot in front of us. We have 10 games left, and so look, I mean, we're everything we do is in the here and now. We got a huge game Monday night. A really good football team's coming into MetLife, and we need to be ready. We need to be on top of our details and disciplined and ready to roll, because you got one of the better quarterbacks in the National Football League coming in here, and a really good team that we have a ton of respect for. So we need to focus on the Chargers.
Sack and then cuss.
Yeah, you talked about the defense and special teams. On offense, you guys are at the bottom of the league right now in red zone and third down. How confident are you that you have the pieces in place to pull that back up to like 4 towards the?
Yeah, no, I feel confident that we have the pieces to improve, and I think you're going to see us. Well, I know you're going to see us improve every week as the season progresses, and we play some really good defenses to start the year. I think you're going to see. Well, again, I know you're going to see us get better every week, and and a lot of that's going to be just the little things, the little details that we do every day at practice, and eliminating self-inflicted wounds and being on top of every single detail. But again, I know we have the right people on that side of the ball, and they grind, they work, and I love the energy. I love the energy that Hack brings every day, and it's a great group. So I'm really confident in them.
Did you
Last
make any calls on the receiver market, Joe, on any receiver?
We made a lot of calls on a lot of different positions, and again, it takes 2 to tango, and so there were a lot of calls, but we didn't get a lot of deals done.
Thanks, everyone.
Yep.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.